Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. And my name is Athena, and I'll be facilitating our time together tonight. We've all been showing up here together for around 9 years, maybe over 9 years. And we've been sharing what works for us in our healing journey, and we've also been sharing what hasn't been working so well for us. That way, we are able to learn and grow together. This has become a place where all of us check in with one another once a week, support one another, encourage one another. And sometimes in the midst of all of the healing and the heaviness, we get to have some moments of levity and laughter. It's been really a beautiful healing journey. It's been almost a decade that we've all been together, and I couldn't be more grateful. It's a very humbling experience to be in the presence of community. Many of us have gotten to meet in person, whether it's at a church or a Starbucks or a Panera Bread or in a park or even just in a car. We've connected and we have a similar lived experience, and something special happens when you have a similar lived experience with someone, particularly one of repeated relational trauma. Sometimes it feels like we're all alone and that we're sort of doing this thing by ourselves, this healing thing. We're doing it by ourselves. So that's why tonight's theme is let us be gentle with ourselves. Let us be gentle with ourselves. And it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder for me. It's a good reminder for you. It's a good reminder for all of us. Each of us are going through something. Each of us are handling different aspects of our healing journey of life, whether it's parenting or navigating job interviews or financial ups and downs and all arounds, or new friendships. Perhaps we're grieving. Maybe we've experienced a loss. Maybe we're figuring out relationships with our adult children or our neighbors or our colleagues or our bosses. Maybe we're struggling with a physical illness or a mental illness. Whatever it may be, we're all going through something. So let us be gentle with ourselves. A warm welcome to you if you're here for the very first time. I'm so honored to be here with you. I will describe for you my setup tonight. What we've been doing on Monday nights is we've been doing some breath work. We have a devotional or meditation by Morgan Harper Nichols, a healing strategy by Dr. Ariel Schwartz, and an affirmation by Lisa A. Romano. And I'm in my work area. I have a pillow supporting my posture. I have my feet propped out in front of me on an ottoman. And I have a glass of water nearby. And I am honored and grateful to be here with you today. I hope you all are staying cool. I know there are heat waves going across the mainland in the United States and a lot of North America. Lots of heat waves that are happening. And I hope you're taking really good care of yourself. I want to pause briefly and say hello to each of you who are here with us tonight for our live discussion. And I want to invite you to get a pillow to support your posture, or perhaps get a beverage that you would enjoy or find comforting or delicious or enjoyable as we get ready to do some breath work together and we have our devotional or meditation our healing strategy, and we'll wrap up our time together with our affirmation. A warm welcome to you, Timothy. So good to see you. Hello, John Harvey. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for just always being here to help moderate, and I couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much, John. Hello, Jeffrey Sherman. Hello, hello. Hello, Carrie. Hi. I'm so glad you made it. Aw. Yes. Where's the chocolate cake? That's all I want to know. Hello, Angela. Oh, I hope you're doing well also. Hello, Midnight Blue. Hi. Hello, Jennifer. I'm sending you hugs and smiles back as well. Let me see if I can do my little huggy face. Yay! There. I'm sending you all hugs and love. All right. So with a firm spine and a soft heart space and a soft belly, I'm going to get a sip of water, and we will begin our breath work together. I invite you to grab a sip of something, and we will begin. Okay, so let's do some box breathing. Let's breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and we'll do it 4 times. I know I'm so predictable. However, let's mix it up a little bit today. Let's extend our exhale so that we can all get a nice, deep yawn. I know I shared this with you last week or the week before, but 2 of the best scientifically proven ways for us to regulate our nervous system is two of the very best ways are deep breathing and to be in the presence and breathing with another mammal, another mammalian nervous system. So here we are, all of us, all 9 of us, together, virtually in this room. All 9 of us are mammals, and we are all going to be deep breathing together. So we're doing the top 2 ways. We're participating in the top 2 scientifically proven ways to regulate our nervous system. Okay, let us begin. I will guide you through the first breath and the last breath, and you can feel free to breathe on your own for the second and the third. Oh, Jeffrey Sherman says, I'm trying to maintain defiance against the effects of narcissistic relationships, looking for the confidence to be myself authentically. Jeffrey Sherman, the thought of someone being unkind and narcissistically abusive toward you just gets the maternal me enraged on your behalf, and I'm offering you a comforting hug, and I am so glad that you are here, Jeffrey Sherman. So glad you are here. And I am grateful that you get to be your authentic self while you are here with us. Let us begin. We're going to inhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. On your own now. Again. Last one together now. Inhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale longer now. 4, 3, 2, 1. A little bit more. Well done. I got 2 really nice yawns. Got 2 really nice yawns. Thank you for co-regulating with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A warm welcome to anyone I haven't greeted by name. Oh, you're so welcome, Jeffrey Sherman. You're so welcome. Hello to you, Craig. Offering you hugs right back. Yes, Jennifer says that we are all here for you, Jeffrey Sherman. Yay, Midnight Blue got a yawn. Amazing. Oh, that was a good one. Hello, Melly Phillips. So glad you're here too. You're never late. You are right on time. We are so glad to see you. All right. I'm pulling up our devotional meditation by Morgan Harper Nichols. Morgan is reminding us to be gentle with ourself. That is the theme for tonight, to be gentle with ourself. Morgan says, you are learning to hold the tension of a lot of different things. You are learning to accept the way some flowers take many seasons to bloom. You are learning to accept that some conversations will be difficult to have and some will be easier. Some emotions will be easier to express than others. And sometimes letting go takes weeks, and other times it takes much longer. And through it all, your heart is still beating. There is still room for healing. even in the places where everyone else seems to have moved on. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle when you are trying to be grateful for where you are today while you may still be missing what was. Be gentle when you are putting a smile on your face and on the inside you don't know how you actually feel. Lean in to the grace that reminds you there is no shame if it takes time to work through what is. There is still time to heal. Even when it comes to those who seem to have a much better grip on working through things, remember, at any given moment, we are all working through something. We are all faced with some unknown, whether we realize it or not. So if it all feels like too much, it's because it is too much. It's too much for any one person to try and work through on their own. You are not traveling through this alone. I'm speaking to each of you. You are not traveling through this alone. So when you are feeling the weight of the world, please know that in 7 billion different ways, we are all beside you. And all by grace, day by day, there is room for us to work through this. It's not going to be easy. Making sure our needs are met is lifelong work, but maybe it's possible. Maybe there's hope. Not wishful thinking, but hope. May hope rise among us for every tired, weary, broken heart. Let hope strengthen us into action so that we may grow in our collective awareness of one another, letting every interaction like this be a reminder. None of us are in this alone. Breathe deep. Stay connected. Together, here, we hold the tension of things. And some flowers will take longer to bloom. And this is also true. There is still hope for our uncertainty. Let us be gentle with ourselves. I'm so grateful for each of you. So grateful that you are here. Just checking in on each of you. Yes, Jennifer, we all deserve love, dignity, and respect. I wholeheartedly agree. Oh, hello. Warm welcome to you, Kathy. Kathy says, I just heard this morning about a flower that takes 10 years to bloom. Sounds like me. Sounds like me too, Kathy. Although mine's like 20 years. Is there a really long blooming flower? I'm pretty sure I might be the slowest, latest bloomer ever. But you know what? There's still time. Let us be gentle. Let us be gentle with ourselves. So, we are in the midst of a 3-week series on learning about emotional regulation with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. So, I'm going to do just a little recap from last week, because last week we learned and talked about our window of tolerance. And the window of tolerance is something that Dr. Dan Siegel talks about. He's a brain specialist, a child specialist, a child development specialist, brain development specialist, healing specialist. He is just amazingly brilliant and has published so much and has helped me so much just in the work that he's put out there into the world. But what Dr. Ariel what she is sharing with us in this 3-week series that we're doing on managing emotional dysregulation, we talked last week about understanding the differences between when we are emotionally regulated versus being emotionally dysregulated. And we talked about our window of tolerance and how that's that optimal zone when we are not in the, like if we're high highs or low lows. So if we are in hyper arousal or presenting with anxious symptoms, and then, or we could be in the low lows or presenting with depressive symptoms. So the window of tolerance is that, and again, that's the term that was created by Dr. Dan Siegel, and it describes the range of stress that a person can manage without becoming overwhelmed. So when we're inside this optimal zone, we're able to skillfully attend to any upsetting emotions and distressing physical sensations. So when we're inside our window of tolerance, we are able to handle a certain amount of stress and return to a sense of safety. So conversely, when we're outside of our window of tolerance, we might feel highs like fear, irritability, restlessness, anger, or even excessive crying, like uncontrollable crying. And these feelings mean that our sympathetic nervous system has kicked in. So, in contrast, the low emotions are when our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in a way that is unmanageable. So we might feel fatigued, lethargic, we might even feel helpless or emotionally dull, numb, or depressed. So those of us living with CPTSD, who are healing CPTSD, we tend to alternate between the highs and the lows. Okay? So as we talked about last week, patterns of dysregulation learned in childhood often continue into adulthood until we attend to these patterns. Okay? So we might notice a tendency toward fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or faint. And last week we talked about the faint trauma response. So many of us know what fight, flight, freeze, and fawn are, but the faint trauma response is when our bodies decide that we're under threat and that we need to conserve our energy in order to survive. And when we're in the faint trauma response, we might feel disconnected or dissociative or numb. We might even have the urge to withdraw from others, or physically, get this, we might even experience nausea, dizziness, or difficulty with our vision. These symptoms mean that we are relying on a primitive defense system that kicks in when it senses that death may be unavoidable. So, to heal from a faint trauma response, it's wise for us to slowly reorient our attention toward our senses. So what this can look like is we can take a moment to look around the room. We can pay attention to any cues that help us feel relaxed or calm. And we might explore how it feels to connect with another person with whom we feel safe. And that, we can connect on the telephone, we can connect via text, we can connect virtually like we are now. But it's important that we are mindful of how we're feeling in our body connected with our emotions. So this week, remember last week we had the story from Bonnie, and this week we have a story from Carl. Did we read Bonnie's story last week? I feel like we did. I'm pretty sure we did. I'm trying to remember if we read Bonnie's story last week. Gosh. Now I'm wondering if I said, we'll read Bonnie's story next week. Well, I feel like we read Bonnie's story last week. I'm almost positive. So this week we're going to read Carl's story. And Dr. Ariel, she's sharing, she says here, this is Carl speaking. Carl said, I'm having a hard time with my 3-year-old son. I know he's just being a kid and his behavior is normal, but I can't stand it when he refuses to do what I want him to do. Like when we need to leave the house and he will not get in the car, or when it's time to go to bed and he won't go to sleep. When he cries, I feel so out of control. My body starts to shake and I just want to scream. So Dr. Ariel says Carl was struggling with emotional dysregulation that was getting triggered when his son wouldn't do what he needed him to do. Now, thankfully, Carl was aware of this pattern and he sought help before his emotional dysregulation became a problem for his son. Carl and I explored his feeling of being out of control. And as he grew curious about his emotional reaction, he recalled memories of being upset as a child. And he described how his mother would become angry instead of providing a soothing or caring response. As a result, he internalized that his emotions were too much for anyone to handle. The shaking and the urge to scream that Carl described were symptoms of being in high arousal and outside of his window of tolerance. These physical experiences were a direct connection to his own childhood emotions and his attachment wound. More importantly, these same feelings helped Carl find resolution and heal from his past. By paying attention to his body, Carl was able to recognize that his urge to scream had more to do with his unexpressed anger toward his mother than to the immediate situation. Carl then noticed that his urge to scream at his son was subsiding. Now he was able to engage his body to help him feel empowered so that he could be a loving parent to his son. He discovered that he could remain regulated and present during difficult moments with his son by taking deep breaths and focusing on his feet and legs in the midst of intense emotions. So this week's healing strategy, you guys, is based on somatic psychology, which is the brain-body connection, right? It's all about the body and how our body responds to triggering events. So that's what somatic psychology invites awareness around, of how our body responds to our triggers. So rather than feeling stuck in high arousal, fight or flight responses, we can explore movements that allow us to release unnecessary tension so that we can feel present and empowered. And then in contrast, if we're feeling frozen or collapsed in freeze or faint responses, we can focus on engaging our senses and reconnecting to our breath so as to help us feel an embodied experience of relaxed alertness. So I'm going to read to you a list of different ways that we can explore engaging our body when we feel emotionally overwhelmed or shut down. We can practice each of these empowering movements mindfully and slowly. And we can choose to repeat these movements 2 or 3 times and then pause and notice any subtle changes in how we feel in our body and in our mind. Okay? So I'm going to read you a list of 7 different choices, and then you can choose which one is best for you. Okay? And then I'll give you an example of one. That way you know, like we can walk through one of them together. How does that sound? So first, choice number 1, you can stand next to a wall and push your arms firmly into the wall. Press and release several times. Imagine that you are setting a boundary and pushing away anything that you do not want or that was a source of danger. The second choice is you can do this seated or standing. So we're going to press our feet into the ground, and we're going to engage the large muscles of our legs, and then relax. Engage and relax. Firmly stand your ground, knowing that nobody can push you over. I love that. The third choice is stand up and walk slowly and mindfully in place. Imagine that you are leaving any situation that is not healthy for you. The fourth choice is to stretch your arms out in front of you. Reach out as if you are reaching for something that is important to you. Notice how it feels to reach for what you want. Next, Imagine grasping what you want in your hands and pull your arms back toward your chest. Explore how it feels to receive. Next, when you experience any emotions, notice the accompanying sensations in your body. See how it feels to place your hands over these sensations. Apply some light pressure and take a deep breath. And lastly, while sitting down, allow yourself to rest into your connection with your chair or your couch. Notice if you feel an urge to collapse. And if so, see if you can find enough muscular engagement to help you feel relaxed and awake. So how did that feel? How did that feel? Let's pause for a moment and reflect. Was there anything that we discussed last week or this week that caused you to feel activated or triggered? Were there any of the choices of healing strategies that you engaged with that were most helpful or least helpful for you personally? Just remember that you get to choose. You get to choose as often as you like, whenever you like. All these are extra tools. You know how we always talk about tools and choices and tools. That's all we're doing. We're just offering tools and choices and tools. I hope you found that nourishing and helpful. We're going to end our time together this week with our Loving the Self affirmation. Here we go. Sometimes we don't have a sense of what healthy love looks like or feels like. This is because somewhere along the way we learned to believe love was about enabling or denying or people-pleasing or about anger or rescuing or playing the victim or playing the hero. We flop our way through life unknowingly, recreating situations and scenarios that reinforce our old, unconscious, faulty belief systems taught to us about love. Today, I understand that love is supposed to feel good. So today, I am choosing to learn how to make myself feel good. And today, I am choosing to learn how to feel comfortable in my own skin. Today, I am learning that I really can't love anyone else until I am learning to love the inner being that I am. I am worthy. I am good. And I am enough just as I am. I am a work in progress, and that is enough. Let us be gentle with ourselves. Let us be gentle with ourselves. We deserve to be gentle with ourselves. Oh, you are so welcome. Oh, I'm so grateful you found that helpful. I'm so grateful it was supportive. I'm offering each of you so much compassion, so much kindness, so much love. Thank you so much for the thumbs up if you found this helpful. And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel if that's something that you feel would be supportive for you. Ooh, Amanda says, anyone struggle with rage? Yes, absolutely, Amanda. You know, we did like a 3 or 4 week series all on anger, I believe. I'm trying to think of when that was. Yes, Jeffrey Sherman. Jeffrey Sherman says, I need to find mine. It took me 20 years to find mine. 20 years. 20 years. The best way I found to locate and effectively get in touch with my own anger was in a peripheral way. It was advocating for others and allowing myself to feel this profound sense of indignance and anger and rage toward how others were being treated. And then I was somehow able to apply that to my own situation. It was really, 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 really helpful, but I couldn't access it for a really, really long time. So, yeah, I think we did a series on anger. But thank you all so much for being here. I honor you. I honor your process. And I value each of you. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for allowing me to be in your life. We do calls just like this, twice a day, every day, 365 days a year over at the Foundation. This YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research. We also have a safe group chat, just like the chat box here, but it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's a link in the description section and also in the chat box as well. It is always an honor to be here with you. If I don't see you over there, I will be back here on Monday, this coming Monday and every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, until I see you again, please be extra kind and extra patient and extra gentle with yourself. As Morgan is reminding us this week, let us be gentle with ourselves. I'll see you soon. Good night, everyone.